Hey class, excited to actually be playing a historical game for once on this channel. I can't recall if I have or not yet. So this is the demo of Great War Western Front, made by Petroglyph Games, which is has made one of my most famous, one of my favorite games of all time, Star Wars Empire at War, which is probably at least over a decade old now, like if not more, because I think I was playing it early in my university, but I'm not sure. So it is a public demo. I thought I would try it for a little bit and see what I'm at, because like there's not a lot of great World War I games. So I'm just going to examine some stuff here. Historic battles. Okay, maybe we'll play the I want to look at the battles though. Okay. Passchendaele. So it looks like Passchendaele is one of them. Maybe you only have one choice. I didn't mean to get into a battle right away. I want to play the tutorial. So this is how I make mistakes. And yeah, but that's really cool. I also, you know what, I've heard this pronounced a lot of different ways, like Passchendaele, Passchendaele. I believe it's a Battle of Ypres, is it not? If I remember correctly. Yeah. What remained of Passchendaele when the Canadian forces arrived was a hellish landscape of mud, artillery, craters, and burnt trees. After gaining a foothold, the Canadian commander executed a multi-phase plan to push the Germans out of what was left of the town. Using simultaneous attacks backed up by intricate rolling barrage maneuvers, the Canadian forces managed to push the Germans out of the area. The Battle of Passchendaele is remembered by many as a symbol of how horrific war can be, but also a symbol of national pride for Canada, whose troops were able to achieve a near impossible feat.
Belgium.
Oh.
1917. Dear Mother, I'm writing to you on the eve of a great event. Conrad and I wanted to write something down for you while we had the time, and he's occasionally giving me words to add. I can't tell you where we are, but I can tell you it is far less pleasant than the other parts of Belgium I've seen. This place may once have been a fine place to live, but now it is nothing but a tremendous field of cold, wet mud and shell holes filled with water. I have seen many men fall into the mud and need 3 or 4 more men to drag them out. Not a blade of grass or tree remains, and the village that was once here is nothing but a few heaps of bricks. The Germans are well placed behind their ridge. We've been shelling them for days, but they remain resolute. Anyone who looks over the trench for more than a few seconds is shot. Those Germans may be many things, but they are not bad shots. To their credit, they do not seem inclined to fire on our stretcher bearers, who are working tirelessly in the knee-deep mud to bring back the injured. I must conclude this letter now, as our regiment is readying for a sortie on the lines. We must push the Germans away from the ridge and their guns. I pray this letter reaches you, and know that Conrad and I are looking out for each other. I remain your affectionate son, Len.
I don't think I'm ready to play this. Sorry guys, I don't mean to get your hopes excited. We're gonna quit this and we're gonna play the tutorial. That was a really neat intro though. I wonder if that was a real letter. What I was gonna say before it started is Iron Maiden actually has a really good song called Passchendaele from their Dance of Death album. Tutorial disabled. Okay, so I can only play the tutorial, so we'll do the tutorial. And the Americans are... Okay, so there's tons. Okay. Chapter 1, the Americans arrive. America remained neutral through most of World War I, just like World War II. Supplying aid, but not taking part in combat. However, Germany's increased attack on American ships began to sway many in the government. When the British revealed the Zimmerman telegram to the Americans, in which Germany offered to return American territory to Mexico if they would become allies and attack the U.S., it was the last straw. It's also the sinking of the Lusitania. There's a lot of debate about this now, if I understand, is like unrestricted submarine warfare by the Germans. Like the Americans were shipping arms in these civilian ships and not letting them sink there. And there's a lot of there's a really interesting podcast called Hardcore History by Dan Carlin, Blueprint for Armageddon. I love it. I listen to it every year before I teach World War One. Because I actually have to teach about World War I every year, which is really neat. I obviously am not the master at it, but...
My age and joined up when I was 17. Looking back, I was just a foolish boy looking for glory on the battlefield. The enemy had sunk our ships and tried to turn Mexico against us, and they had to pay. My platoon arrived in France in April of 1918. General Pershing organized our troops. My unit was assigned to a French contingent for training. None of us had any experience with the new way of fighting, and the trench lines were a bit of a shock.
So that's one thing I've always heard, is that like the Americans came in late to the war, obviously, so they hadn't learned the lessons that everyone else had. So let's take a look. Okay, bonjour. I'm Lieutenant Colonel André Laurent. Welcome to France. I understand you are eager to fight, but this is the Western Front. The trenches are no place for the inexperienced. Press the check button to proceed the next step. Okay. I didn't know it at the time, but Laurent, let's see if I can do that gruff American accent. I didn't know it at the time, but Laurent had been in the Battle of the Somme. You could see a kind of distance in his eyes, though he didn't let it show in his voice. Advisor settings. You can click the left and right arrows to review. Okay. This is a theater map. I'm not going to do a French accent. Sorry, everybody. This is a theater map which depicts the Western Front, including regions in France, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Germany. Each region shows the controlling faction. Okay, so it looks like it's divided into hexes. The map, the map is divided into hexagonal areas called regions. All regions in the map begin under the control of either Allied nations or the Central Powers. Allied nations regions hexes are highlighted in blue. Central Powers highlighted in red. So the Entente is blue and the Central Powers is red. Okay, I will be blunt. The Russian treaty with Germany, the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, I believe, if I remember correctly. The Russian treaty with Germany has freed up nearly 50 divisions of German infantry to be transferred to the Western Front. Your men are needed to shore up the line and push back against the new threat. So the Russians actually signed that treaty because of the revolution. It's considered one of the most one-sided treaties of all time. And it really worried the Allies, because now that Germany wasn't facing a two-front war, what could happen? But the Americans coming in kind of sealed the fate. Theater map front line. The front line is where combat happens. Regions can only initiate attacks on adjacent hexes. Okay. As you capture or lose regions, the front line will adjust positions. Cool. Our civilians see this German spring offensive as something to worry about. A worrying civilian is one who does not support the war and begins doubting that we can win, even talking about surrender. So your national will, oh, that's cool. National will represents the feelings of the home nations towards the war, how likely they are to enlist, buy war bonds, or support the war effort in general. National will is one way to win the game. The first faction to push the enemy to zero national will wins. That's cool. That's a neat mechanic, because like World War I wasn't like World War II, where like the Allies took Berlin. It was won almost in the civilian populace. While this army can't worry about the feelings of civilians, the threat of new German manpower is not something to dismiss. If we are not vigilant, Germany could reach Paris. So there's Paris, there's Kreuznach in Deutschland. Capitals. The second way to win the game is to capture the region containing the faction's command HQ. For the Allies, the command HQ is Paris. For the Central Powers, the command HQ is Kreuznach. Everything in German sounds angry. Like, I bet you butterfly sounds angry too. But Paris is still a long way from the front lines, and we will never let Germany get close. No, we shall not. What's the famous... It's not je ne sais pas. There's like, you shall not pass from Verdun is one of the most famous French sayings. But I don't know what it is in French. Move the camera, holding the middle mouse button. Okay, so this is kind of cool. It's very contained. It's not over the top. Neat. Move camera and select the Paris region. Okay. Each region has a defense rating measured in stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you attack a region, achieving a great victory removes 1 star. Once the final star is removed, the region becomes your. 1 star regenerates per turn for the owner of faction as no combat occurs in the region. Okay, so even if you get someone down to 0 stars, you still have to keep feeding men into that meat grinder, or else they can regenerate that star. That's good to know. Okay. Paris is our central hub for new recruits and the manufacturing of munitions, including tanks and aircraft. Some regions have inherent bonuses or features. That's my advisor voice. Paris, for example, has both the Command HQ bonus, which designates it as a win condition, and the deployment bonus, which means all new French troops begin in this region. You can see any bonuses in the region selection pane. Our forces begin in Paris to be deployed to the front line. Once we get you organized, your men will be deployed in the same fashion. Military units can be moved on the map. Units can have different names but act the same way. For example, an infantry corps and tank battalion are both units. Each unit contains a selection of smaller groups called a company. The type of companies found in a unit are not always the same. For example, an infantry corps can contain multiple infantry types and artillery. Seems like this will be a trial by fire. I don't know why I'm doing my old-timey accent, because he's French. I had hoped to have more time for your drills, but orders are orders. Prepare yourself. Objective events are optional requests that grant a reward if completed within the time limit. Objective events are just one type of event that can occur during the campaign. I'm really digging it so far. Okay, Intel is expecting a German assault. French command requests that the newly arrived Americans be moved up to reinforce the French forces located at Chateau Thierry. Move 3 American infantry corps to Chateaury. Move 2 French. Okay. You've seen the orders with the influx of new German forces. There are too many gaps in our line. Your job is to fill them. In the campaign, there is no penalty for failing to complete an objective event other than not receiving the reward. In general, rewards will be worth the effort, but it's ultimately up to you. I wonder if they're gonna... Before I click on this, I wonder if they will open it for mod support, because this seems like a modders would love this. So I gotta move them there. Our forces have been fighting bravely, but they have had little rest or peace for a long time. See, they're down to 1 star. I'm sure your reinforcements are a welcome sight to them all. Regions. Missing stars. You must achieve a victory of great victory level in combat to remove a star from a region. When a region is lost, any defenders will retreat to the nearest friendly region. Some units, such as siege artillery, cannot be moved in a retreat and are lost. Okay. Designated Les Marais region as the staging ground for the American forces. Any new American units will begin there. Regions. Deployment zone. Remember that each nation has its own deployment region for bringing in new troops and supplies, as shown in the bonus section of the region selection pane. The deployment regions are Kreuznach for Germany, Paris for France, Calais for Britain, and Les Marais for America. Okay, select Les Marais. Our logistic people keep the unit types together for ease of reference. However, thoughtful distribution of forces is necessary. Unit splitting. Units are displayed on the map as stacks of 4 types. Infantry, tanks, aircraft, and siege artillery. All present units are shown in the region pane. Left-clicking to a unit will add it to the unit to move box or back, while right-clicking moves the entire stack. Clicking directly on a unit stack or world map will also select and add this whole stack. Select 3 infantry corps. 1, 2, 3. Then we right-click there. Oh, they moved there a little quick. That's disappointing. Well done. The infantry has filled in the defensive gaps as planned. We should take stock and see what else is needed at Chateau Thierry. Units of the same type stack on the map, even if they are on different nationalities. Whichever nationality is in the majority will appear at the top of the stack. So that's the French. Okay. Select Chateau Thierry. Units. Units can either move or attack once per turn. Your units can defend whether they moved or attacked. Cool. But if you initiate an attack, only those units that haven't moved can participate. You cannot attack from a single region more than once per turn. So I could attack like here, here, here maybe? We'll see. Okay, what does it want me to do? Check. I had a little French from high school, but learning a language in a classroom was a whole lot different than being surrounded by it. Common soldiers seemed to get on great, but the officers seemed frustrated. They would exchange information and coordinate attacks, but they wouldn't take orders from each other. Cool. Allied forces have dealt with the concept of disunity of command. Certain nationalities gain reduced morale when stacked together. There are 3 groups. Britain, Canada, Australia, and India form Group 1, which makes sense. France is Group 2 and America is Group 3. If units from more than one group are in the same region, all units suffer a minor morale penalty. Belgium can stack Groups 1 and 2. The Central Powers does not suffer from disunity of command because they're pretty much all German. That makes sense. If you are unsure your orders, remember to check back on your logbook. Okay. Move 2 French tank battalions to Chateau Thierry. So, tank battalion. 1, 2, and we move them there. There we go. So we get more gold reserves, more national will. With the tanks on the way, well done. But we have a long way to go before this war is over. Yes, we do. Chapter 2, Preparation for Battle. So see, our national will went up. Command has granted us gold reserves for completing your orders. This is a vital resource. Gold reserves are used to purchase on the theater command level. It allows you to purchase new units as tanks. Okay, so you get gold each turn and you can buy stuff. And there it was, our first assault orders. We would be going over the top to assault the enemy line. We felt excitement, fear. In 1 month, we were going to face the fact that some of us weren't going home. We already did this. French command believes the victory at I'm not even going to... Châtillon-sur-Marne? So we're near the Marne? Okay, we'll pull the German forces to that location and relieve some of the pressure on Chateau Thierry. A good outcome here would also give the people back home positive news. Reinforce French troops at Montmirail. Capture Châtillon-sur-Marne. Okay. No battle takes place without proper recon work. While we perform aerial reconnaissance on the enemy, the information can grow stale. So what are we supposed to... What does it want? Select Mount Okay, this one. Some of our best intel comes from spies in the area. Oh, there's spies. Our operatives can scout the information we need to relate to. Now, right now, we need more information about their military strength. Collect the army intel. Oh, and that spent something. I don't know what it spent. Success! Army intel... Alright. Okay. Press the check button. Our spies are reporting new intel is available. Okay, that's probably that symbol there. Active army intel will have the exact unit counts and types while active. The numbers below the icon show how many turns the ability remains active for that region. So 3 turns. Some abilities like theft and sabotage are active directly on the enemy region and only apply to that region. Okay. This new information changes the plan somewhat. We will need to bolster our forces with the remaining American Corps in Les Marais if we want to succeed. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Move them here. It's interesting how far they can move in a turn. Purchasing new ones. Go to purchase menu. Purchase a tank battalion. Those machines were amazing. Our boys were already come up with new ways to use them. Okay, so we purchased a tank. Did it happen right away? Newly purchased units will appear in one of the 3 locations. Okay. French tank stack. There we go. Moving to Montmirail. Okay, so we want aircraft as well. So where's the aircraft stack? That's infantry. That's air. Move them to Montmirail. Supply and structures. Cool. I believe we will have sufficiently equipped our frontline trenches. Now we turn to outlying support for Montmirail. Our unit moved with the rest to Montmirail. I'm so sorry, French people. I'm so sorry. As we neared the trench lines, we could see the siege artillery setting up well away from where we would be fighting. Those guns were designed to pound trenches. I would hate to be under one of those shells when they landed. I don't think you would realize it, really. Siege artillery are unique units and they do not appear on the battlefield. Instead, they allow you to use siege bombardment in battles. They do not affect disunity of command. Just as we depend on spies to gain information, so does the enemy to the end. We should send up counterintelligence to prevent them from learning about our offensive. Takes gold. Okay. Success. You've been using gold reserves to bolster our troops and add firepower to the line. On the battlefield, however, supply is needed, not gold. A soldier without ammunition or bandages is a soldier who cannot fight. Makes sense. Supply is currency used during battle. Supply is used to build trenches and other defenses, to call in reinforcements, and to activate abilities. So that's this, okay? It made sense. Our package. This is all fluff. Each unit on the strategic map grants a set amount of supply to the region. This is refreshed for each battle. Okay. Supply depots allow us to store what we need for combat in a safe location and keep it in reserve in the region. So I want to build a supply depot. Okay, that's cool. I don't know why, but seeing that depot screwed behind the ridge gave me a feeling of security. Yeah, there are 6 different structures. All of them have multiple levels that increase in power as you upgrade. Okay, cool. Chapter 4, defensive battles. Do we get to fight a defensive battle? Believer is can be once our troops are rested in position, we'll begin the battle. We can defend if the enemy attacks, but for now we await further orders. Turn based. You can take as many actions as you like during your turn. Once you've done everything, click end turn. Okay, let's see. Now it's Germany's turn. The enemy AI has the same available actions that you do. They will move troops, purchase supplies, plan attacks. For the most part, you'll be able to see that the AI is doing something, but not what. Okay. Oh, our spies caught enemy spies attempting to gain army intel. Similar to the player, check that to see the mission report. Okay. One thing I've learned is that any increase in spy activity usually means the enemy is probing for good reasons. Our officers knew this too and were prepping for an attack. Huh. Okay, we are under attack. This is kind of cool. There's different types of... The AI can attack territories on its turn, which will put you on the defensive. Each front, the line between hexes, will use a different map. So the line between hexes, not just the hex, that's cool. Auto-resolve, there's auto-resolve, stalemate. Okay, cool. Knowing what forces you in the enemy... While you're always able to see each side's total morale and what you are bringing to battle, you'll only be able to see exactly what the enemy is bringing in if you have active army intel. Okay. So no battle fatigue. Like, that looks like heavy artillery. Is that a plane? That's a plane. They have a plane. They have tanks, though. Ooh, okay. Our recon teams were efficient between the ground and scouts. And Eric, we had at least some idea what the Germans would throw at us. Without dedicated spies, whatever, we couldn't only get numbers, not details. They could have conscripts, or they could be stormtroopers. We would only know when the flames begin to flow. Deployment pane, show you who's the attacker, special modifiers. Okay. Remember that without a supply depot in the region, your supply draw will be 0. Ooh. Good leader could divide the yards and win the day. One thing that... Okay. The auto-resolve likely outcome shows you what the range... Yep. This is it. We'll meet them on the battlefield. They will not take this ground. Battlefield deployment. Engage battle. The attacker must pay a supply cost to initiate the battle. While defense is free, the attacker always has the option to cancel attack before it begins. The defender can concede the battle, taking the loss without casualties. Hey, let's play our first battle. I think maybe what I'll do is play the first battle, or the defensive battle, and then that'll be it for the first episode, and then we'll do another one. So, 1 star, one of the French towns received the Legion d'Honneur. Chateau Thierry has seen its share of battles both in the Napoleonic Wars and World War II. So we know the Central Powers have 9 corps. How many do we have? Are each of these a corps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I don't know. Let's see. Welcome to the front line. Ooh. Jeez, okay. I imagine Chief Garnier, Lieutenant Colonel Laurent, has spoken highly of you Americans and your ability to get things done. All battles begin in the pre-battle phase, which allows you to set up your trench lines and initial troop placements before start the actual battle. The map is divided into 3 sections. Each faction has their home territory where they can build and deploy. Between them is no man's land. So this is no man's land, okay. Camera control is same. Okay. On your first time fighting in a specific location, the battle will begin with a few pre-placed trenches. You're free to use them or replace them as you see fit. Any trenches you build will remain in place in all future battles. That's cool. Looking around, soldiers were digging even more trenches attached to the earlier ones we saw. Artillery cannons were being wheeled along with carts full of ammunition. Everywhere preparations were being made and tons of earth was being moved. Persistent support. Objects such as weapon emplacements, artillery batters, observation balloons, and barbed wire do not persist between battles. We have automatically added a few to save some time. So there's barbed wire. That's cool. Just like the player also persists, this means that your knowledge of the enemy lines for battle can become Outdated, okay. A good trench layout serves two purposes, although not always at the same time. First, it provides the staging ground for assaults on the enemy line. Second, it provides a defensive position. Okay, control points. Primary focus of the battle, so we want to secure as many as possible. Talking with the French veterans, we learned that most important lesson, be in a trench as much as possible, whether on your own or enemies. We could use their own trench lines against them to assault their key positions while being safe from their bullets. Okay. We are standing in the command trench, which is right here. The nerve center of the operation part. As such, its key position must be protected at all costs. Okay? Command trenches are special control points. Just being near it will have no effect. Okay? Command trench was a busy place. Command trench HQ, so it's your HQ. Okay? Our first assignment will be to aid in shoring up our damaged defenses. Our right flank by position A took some damage in the last battle. I need your men to re-impair and reinforce it. Okay? Our engineers have categorized things for you so that you know what's available to use. We have multiple trenches that serve different purposes. So let's click trenches. Oh no. So we got a firing trench, basic, improved, and advanced. All of them provide immunity to rifle fire and limited protection from artillery shells. Okay. Improved trench. By clicking on the trench where you can place the trench in any valid location as long as it... Well, I'm not allowed to... Oh, I can rotate there. That's cool. Let's do that. While placement knows you can play it as you want. When you're done, right-click the exit plate. Build another improved trench. Well, I don't know where I want to build one. I can't move, so why would I... In case they try to take A, we'll do that. I guess. I don't know. Can upgrade previously placed by a version on top of the existing one. Can move it by clicking the X button. Okay. Comm trenches. Communication trenches are used to connect lines of firing trenches. Infantry cannot stop at a comm trench, and they offer much less... Okay. So that'll be a comm trench. Place 2 comm trenches. And what about, like, here? Bunkers. To 5 infantry companies and make them immune to all incoming damage and visible to all enemies outside the bunker. Infantry stationed inside cannot fire out and can only be removed via melee combat. Use them to stage attacks or take cover from bombardment. Support structures. 2 types of weapon emplacements. Machine guns are deadly against infantry. Mortars are better against tanks, but can also target infantry in trenches, even your own. Oh, this is neat. So they have to be at hubs or what? Oh. Okay. 3 additional machine gun nests. So like there's one, I think one going that way would be good. One going that way would be good. Then one going that way as well. Let's try that. Spurs. Both machine guns and mortars have 2 versions, standard and reinforced. Reinforced versions have much higher health pool and more resistant to artillery and grenade fire. This comes at a higher supply cost. So weigh the likelihood attack versus cost, making the choice, okay? Barbed wire slows the enemy infantry that passes through it to a crawl. Your infantry are immune to all the effects of your own barbed wire, but your tanks will crush it if they pass through it. Okay. Razor wire is more deadly because of the barbed wire, but damages, okay. Balloons. Observation balloons can be raised to reveal a large area of the fog of war. Click to place a balloon. I think like placing it up here would be good, right? The command cap is a limit to how many units you can place onto the battlefield at a time. Where's that? Down there, okay? Though it can change in other game modes, weapon emplacements, balloons, and aircraft do not reduce command cap. Infantry, tanks, and artillery do. Unit tray. If a unit uses command cap, it appears in the unit tray at the bottom center of the screen. So these guys, okay? Each company is represented by a portrait. Clicking a portrait will select the company. Okay. Artillery are special units that, while immobile, can use multiple abilities to fire across much of the battlefield. Artillery batteries are visible in the unit tray and take up command cap. They are very powerful and are as such more expensive to field than infantry, which makes sense. Heavy artillery have 3 abilities: precision barrage, for default damage, poison shash shells for area denial, and air burst shells that can damage targets even entrenched in trenches. The first ability is available by default, while the latter must be unlocked for detectory. Okay, place a heavy artillery. Oh, you can see it. I was just going to say, I wish. We'll do it in front of the command trench. Like, whoops. Right here. Place another heavy artillery. There we go. Now that our stationary defenses are in place, it is time to fill our trench line with men ready to defend our country. Troop deployment. Infantry companies cost less to deploy in pre-battle, but they must be placed into trenches. In addition, infantry placed during pre-battle may be subjected to siege artillery barrages before the battle starts. Okay. So the cheaper cost and starting advantage must be weighed against the risk. That makes sense. For the Allies factions, infantry companies have a nationality bonus which grant a unique modifier. You can see this modifier by selecting a country and viewing the info pane. German soldiers do not have nationality. Oop. Go back. German soldiers do not have nationality bonuses. Instead, Germans can use conscript infantry and other variations of units. Okay, infantry, nationality bonus. Tank fans, infantry gain better. So the Americans are fans of tanks. Okay, let's put you here. One there. Oh, see, there's only one. Okay. Remember, you can remove the placed infantry. Let's put two there. Two there. Oh, I didn't get to put any there. Specialist units have smaller company sizes, but make it up for it by having more health and morale than normal infantry. There are two types: raiders, grenadiers for the Germans, and flamethrowers or stormtroopers for the Germans. Both are very good at clearing trenches, and though their methods vary. Place 2 American raiders.
Reporting for duty. Reinforcements reporting.
As with infantry, tanks cost less to place in the pre-battle phase. Unlike infantry, tanks can be placed anywhere in friendly territory. Okay. Pre-battle bombardment is available if you have siege artillery in the region. It is used to clear enemy trenches to support your attacks. That's kind of cool. It is best used when you are the attacker and planning a massive assault. Okay. How you spend your supply in pre-battle is a key element to the game. Any supply you do not spend in pre-battle will be added to the reserve once the battle starts. Okay. So, my understand, like, I only have a couple. I want to move some of these guys. Like, what's this mean? Okay, we'll begin the battle. How very little can be done under the spirit of fear. Florence Nightingale, British nurse and pioneer in modern medical care. Sempre avanti. This is cool. Like, it feels World War I-y. They've done a good job so far. Let's see the battle. Get your men in position. During the transition to the tactical battlefields, all the objectives you place are built. Okay, cool. Normally the battle clock would be counting down, but we pause it for the tutorial. I will automatically do so even when gameplay is resumed to give you time to read and react. Okay. So 20-minute battles, that's kind of nice. You can tell how much experience a soldier had. Pre-battle bombardment. The transition phase includes days of siege bombardment that were purchased in pre-battle for both players. Bombardments have a chance to destroy pre-placed trenches and the men inside them, as well as nearby emplacements. Potential bar, combat potential. Okay, so we don't have a lot of power potential. A longer bar increases more available firepower than the opponent as units are defeated. Okay. Victory bar. Victory level mean the represents the range. The pointer will adjust based on scores earned by both sides. Okay. In the top of the meters, you can find the current control pad status. Okay. So A is the one we're controlling, right? That's the one we're protecting, yeah. Every control point has a meter around it that shows the current owner and it's being contested. Makes sense. To capture a control point, move an infantry company within the capture radius. The more companies you have in the area, the faster the meter will fill. Okay. Regions. Each control point influences the area of the map. You can see the map sections linked to control points by using the / key. Okay. Reinforcements points. Each region has reinforcement points as shown on the minimap. Okay, that's those things, probably. The supply cost of reinforcements is higher than deploying the same unit in pre-battle. Reinforcements are limited by the number of available based on what is region. Click the American Infantry button. Once you click the button, for instance, you can click the ground to set the destination. Unlike pre-battle units...
Reporting for duty.
There we go. So they should be rushing up to there. Commands such as reinforcement, movement, and ability usage can still be given while paused, but nothing will happen until play resumes. Okay, that's nice. You can pause it. Click the play button to watch the units arrive. Infantry companies default to column formation. Let's find them. There they are. You can toggle between them. Skirmish. Company halt. Okay. Look at them go. Actually, I want one of you to go here. Whoops. You go here. So we have some... See, I don't like this either. Oh, let's keep hitting play. What's going on? Vision. Units and structure can see across the battlefield, but only so far. Fog of war, distance hills. Okay. Raise balloons. Balloons begin the battle lower to keep them safe from aircraft, but a lower balloon provides no vision bonus. Okay, let's raise our balloons. A single soldier hanging a basket from a giant bag filled with flammable gas. Oh my god. Okay, so there's their already, things like that. Remember that heavy artillery is good for damaging enemy targets. Select any heavy artillery. No. Okay, so these guys can do it. Precision barrage. Move the reticle over some German infantry and left click to fire. Right here. Watch your artillery fire before continuing. That's cool. But this takes... I'm using a lot of my supply right now, but I think that's cool. Okay, let's keep doing it. Oh. Avoiding artillery. Oh, geez, okay. While units in blockhouses... Okay, you can't really avoid it, you just have to take it seems like. What a helpless feeling, eh? These bastard krauts. The Hun. Infantry companies have both a health bar green and a morale bar white. The health bar displays, yeah, well the morale bar. Okay. Selected damage, low morale infantry. So like these guys? Click the withdraw. Oh jeez. I don't want to withdraw them, but okay. Withdrawing a company removes that company from play, but it does not count as a loss with respect to score. Withdrawal also saves on replenishment costs, but frees up command costs for new units. Okay. Observe the battlefield. I am observing the battlefield. Oh, they're moving. Looks like they are moving troops towards location X. This likely means they are planning an assault on our right flank around location A. Normally, enemy units and trenches can't be seen moving unless you have infantry near the trench lines. Raised balloons can also see it. Okay. Trench movement. Select a raider. So one of these guys.
New orders incoming.
Right click and open trench slot to move raiders. Well, let's go to her. Let's move them. Like, let's reinforce there. Watch the troop movement. Okay. That is kind of neat. You get to watch them move through it. This is going to be a long episode, so I apologize, everybody, but it's been pretty cool so far. Okay, I watched the troop movement. Enemy rolling barrage. Rolling barrage fires several lines of artillery. Okay. These shells not only damage and suppress everything along the path, but also drop smoke. You can use this to both damage the enemy and give your infantry cover if they fall behind progressive shell fire. Okay. I hope you have to unlock that technologically, because they didn't start doing that right at the beginning of the war. That'd be cool. Over the top. The term over the top refers to the act of leaving the trenches no man's land. This action causes a lot of casualties unless your infantry are supported by artillery fire, aircraft, or other abilities. Emplacements. Weapon emplacements such as machine guns and mortars will automatically fire at the closest target in range, but you can manually choose targets by selecting the banner. This is useful if you want to... Okay. Depending on the size of the enemy, you need to decide if your units can stop the attack to arise or if you need to support the defensive line with your artillery abilities. Okay. Firing trenches have two positions. The firing step, left banner position. What does that mean?
We have new orders.
Left banner position and reserve right banner. Only the firing step position can fire on incoming enemies. You can use the swap trench position button to swap companies. Okay, so this guy on the right is in reserve. This guy on the right's in the fire step. You can swap them. That makes sense. Okay. Defeat the incoming wave. Yes, sir. I can't pause. Okay. Can I do artillery? We should be able to stop this with these machine guns. Let's take a look. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, look at this. They destroyed our balloon. They're coming right down the middle though. This might not be bad. That's a communications trench though, isn't it? Doesn't tell me. Just mowing them down. Look at that. And then this machine gun's doing that there.
Préparez-vous à recevoir les ordres de tir. Préparez un barrage total.
Why did that do that? Oh, it's not within the minimum range.
Chargez l'artillerie.
This one is. But we got this. We lit them up. But there's artillery coming down on our machine guns. Default abilities for both light and heavy artillery will disable the ability of all infantry emplacements and artillery to fire their weapons. Light artillery is far better at suppression than the heavy, but both can get the job done. Okay. Incoming assault is large. I believe it is time to field some of our tanks. Cool. Remember that units reinforcement plates. Okay. Let's do this one and like here. So these guys are suppressed. Okay. So they're going to have to get into hand-to-hand combat here. Okay. I didn't watch my tanks. Defeat the incoming attack wave. So that's kind of cool. It goes to hand-to-hand. There's our tanks. Looks like victory's coming our way a little bit. Oh, geez. Okay. I might withdraw these guys. Oh, it won't let me. Okay. Normally I would like withdraw one of these guys, or we should rotate. There we go. Space it out a little bit. Tanks are doing alright. Giving morale buff. Let's swap these so we have more units on the firing step. This could get hectic, I would think. Let's try see if we can do this. What happens there? Let's see if that does some damage. Oh yeah. You know what this reminds me of, the style? What was it called? Incoming air, the enemy has dispatched fighters. Fighters and bombers have two missions they can perform. Enemy fighters can threaten your balloons. It is up to you to decide if you want to lower them or not. Remember, balloons are all lowered and raised at once. Sometimes it's worth the risk. Okay. Air support. Available air supports how many aircraft are currently available to be sent on missions compared to the total you have in the region. The individual missions show how many air wings are currently active and remaining duration. And the refuel meter... Okay. There are 4 air missions available. Air superiority mission. Let's do that. I'll give you a decal. It's like target definition. The planes will fly this location before beginning the mission and will pick up targets from that point. If you're going after moving targets, placing the decal over the areas you expect the enemy aircraft. So they think like here. Survive the final attack wave. What is coming over here? Oh, planes. Where's our planes? Here comes our planes. Oh, that's cool. And then they get in a dogfight. Oh, help him out. Oh, no. Our planes did not do well. Can I send in more? Help him out. Oh, there you go. What's our harassment mission? That's cool. And then we'll send a bombing thing here to hurt. Let's take a look at the bombers. And it should hit any infantry that aren't in trenches. So it should hit this. I have another one, it says. Oh no, it just tells you. Come on. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Préparez-vous, soldats. Vérifiez les coordonnées pour préparez-vous à recevoir les ordres de tir. Chargez l'artillerie.
I'm just lighting these Germans up. We have air support already, that's cool. And now they're refueling. Okay. And now they're just over top of the trenches, that's cool. Ending battles. The attacker has the option to cease fire at any time to end the battle and total the score. The defender can only surrender, which gives up control points. Okay. Germans request a ceasefire. Hard choice. Ceasefire. During battle, the attacker can offer a ceasefire. When they fail, they have accomplished they could. All they could. Accepting the ceasefire will end the battle and tally the final score with no additional change to control point ownership. While the enemy will always accept a player ceasefire, the player can choose decline. We'll choose ceasefire. Remember that national will is affected based on both the final score and casualties. Well, we destroyed them. We have achieved some success, but have lost the daylight. Okay. Battle complete. Click continue button to go to debrief. We did that. This is cool. Like, it's neat. I don't know if it's a series worth, because there'd be a lot of cuts and stuff, but... Battle complete. Continue button to go to debrief. I did that. Here's the debrief. So let's see. Does it tell us how many casualties? 410. We took 410. They took 870. Listen to the music. See battle detail. What did they get? Efficiency, life medal. Cool. See battle detail. There's a battle log. That's kind of cool. Over there. I remember this song. Did you know infantry companies can use their grenades while moving, even while moving through a trench line? Cool. Victory. Okay, I think I'm gonna... Well, actually, let's get to the next chapter and then we'll end it. Okay. Okay. So they lost some national will, which is good. German forces are moving. Hopefully they will not go and rise to our plan. AI can move troops. Makes sense. It's still their turn, I guess. A new month begins. And the war continues. So each turn is a month. That's cool. Okay, so we're on chapter 5. Hard choices and research. So I'm going to end it here. And we'll pick it up another time. It's an interesting game. I will have to deep dive it a bit and maybe watch some videos. There's a few people that I'm sure they'll play it that I watch on YouTube, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Might just be a 2-episode little demo thing. And let me know if you want to see the full game when it comes out in March, I believe. Thanks everyone for coming. This has been Teacher Plays. Class dismissed.